It's going to be part 2 of what to ask your doctor when going. Um, I will be having a free checklist of this that'll be available January 1st. I'll be sure to put a post out so that you can get to that. But I am going to kind of go over the first part real fast and then get to the second part. Now, also in the second part, I will be using a lot of acronyms and things like that. If you want to get more information, I'm actually going to be going over this more in my group, so be sure to join the group to get all that. But for the purpose of this video, I will use the acronyms and things like that. And also remember, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. This is something I've worked with my doctor over the years, and I've just been able to compile it. So real quick, I'll go over the first part we went over. And first part is it actually starts in the brain, and you have to have enough dopamine and serotonin to be able to even give the other parts the message that it needs some more TSH. So start there. We got to start at the very beginning. So we've got that part. Then the next part it goes to is the pituitary gland, where it can send off of that. And you need to have an adequate amount of protein, magnesium, zinc, B12. And then it heads on over to the thyroid. And at this point, you have to have TPOs and TGs. Like I said, I'm just going to do those acronyms for right now. But if you have an autoimmune disease, that means that your immune system is attacking. So it's attacking the thyroid, and it's really actually attacking these two things. And so therefore it's not able to make enough. So this is where most doctors just step in. Okay, if it's not making enough, we'll give you some more synthetically with a pill, Synthroid, things like that. So you take that. And that does get that number up. And that's what they care about, is that number. And so for some people it works great. For me, it did not. So then, in order for that, then you also have to have a sufficient amount of iodine, B12, vitamin C, and tyrosine in your thyroid for it to work properly. Even if you don't have an autoimmune disease, you still have to have these. So, having said that, let's say all that's fine. So everything's fine up until this, and all the numbers look great, everything looks great, but you still feel awful. You still have every symptom that you had before. So now what do we do? Okay, so that's where we are now. So at that point, we go, and your levels that they're looking at are the T3 and the T4. The T3 can go straight to the cells, but that's only 7%. The rest of it is T4, and it's inactive, so it has to become T3 in order to get over to your cells. So we'll start with that. Now, to get over to your cells, and this is a little sciencey, I guess you'd say, it needs to get on the thyroid binding globulin. Okay, that's just like it's what takes it to the cells. So if, let's say, you got your T3, it looks great, you got your T4, it looks great, but you have higher levels of estrogen for whatever reason. For women, the two main ones that doctors see are birth control and hormone replacement therapy. Those two things can bring it up too high. So you can check for that. And so what happens, if it is too high, it gets in those globulins, but it won't let it go. So let's say you have your T3 is great, and it's 7%. If it won't let it go to the cells, then it's not doing you any good. So, and of course, then the T4, it needs to ride it to the liver. Okay, now we'll get into that. I also have to get in that with estrogen there too. If it's too high, if estrogen is too high, the liver cannot break it down enough to get that T4 converted to what we call reverse T3. Now that's 60% of it. it's going to be reverse T3, which can get on the globulin and head on over to the cells. Well, if it can't break it down, then it can't convert. But you can do a test for that. And you can also do a test for to see if the estrogen's too high, and that's called a T3 uptake. You can also do a test for the reverse T3. And I think I think I've got my notes on that one. I don't have that one. I don't know if it's too low or too high. But there is a test that you can do to see if that, and that's 60%. So if 60% is not getting to your cells because your reverse T3 is not good, then you got to take care of that. Now that's where you need to speak with your doctor. Okay, let's look at these hormones. Do I need them or do I not? Some people do. So then that's where the doctor comes in to help you with that. That's what's so important for me is what I was able to find a doctor that would work with me through all of these things. So we've got the reverse T3. We've looked at that. Okay, then we still have 40% left. And that is in the form of TAC and T3AC and T3S. Those go to your intestinal tract. Now, I don't know if you're starting to notice everything, but all these things kind of work together. And so those have to get converted in the intestinal tract. And in order to do that, you have to have a sufficient amount of intestinal sulfatase, you have to have good bacteria, and you have to have enough acidity. And so we have so much information now on how to have a good gut. So that we can take care of too. And so that gets over to the cells. So now we've got everything going over to the cells. Now during this time also, selenium is a big one in the liver also. If you're deficient in that, then you've got to get that taken care of. So let's say we've got it all over there though. So everything's over there. Now it's time to attach to the cells. And the way that it does that, it has to be binded with vitamin A and vitamin D. Now I've been with Joseph enough to the cancer center now that I can hear little things being said. And they always say, oh, we know when this one doctor's got a patient because everybody has to have this or everybody has to have that. One of them is D. Nobody gets enough D. Doesn't matter how much sun you get out there. Because of our environment that we have now, because of our foods that we have now, we do not get enough D. It will need to be supplemented. So that's probably one problem there. Now, vitamin A doesn't get tested for a lot, but let's say everything is working good. And it's still, you got some problems. Well, you may have to test the vitamin A. And these have to be attached, they get absorbed through fat. So you got to have good fats. So as you can see, all of these things work together. Now this is still a whole system. We're still not done. So it's a whole system. What can disrupt that system? You're going to go, oh, here she goes again. Okay, but I am. Inflammation's number one. Number two is cortisol. And mine was high. It's something I have to definitely work on. And what makes the cortisol high for most people? Stress. Stress is the biggest thing for us with hypothyroidism. And doctors don't even look at it. So I know this is a lot to take in. I know it seems a little overwhelming. It's not. We're going to break it down in the group. We're going to break it down and make it so that these are bite-sized chunks so that you can take it to your doctor. And hopefully if you can take care of a lot of things themselves, you can take care of a lot of symptoms right up front. But I was fortunate enough to find a doctor that would work with me. But it was a lot of work. So don't think that it was something that was easy. And I know in some places we really don't have that option. You have one doctor. Or you have one doctor that your insurance will pay for it. So what you may have to do is to bring in some other resources. And yes, I know they cost money, but we spend our money on the things we want to. Let's get real. And if you want your health better, then you will spend the money to make it happen. So that is everything in a nutshell. I'm going to have these as guides in my group also. And I have in the description, I have a link to the group if you're not already in there. And we're going to start out going hard and strong in on the first. Now, oh, I almost forgot. I am at the place now that I'm ready to go to the next step. So I mentioned this I think right before Christmas, but I'm getting in a group that with those sprays. I don't know if you remember the sprays I like so much. It's with those vitamins and things, and if we're going to start on the first, they are going to have different kinds of diets. It's free. The only thing you have to pay for are your own supplements. If you have any questions on that, if you want to start that with me, now I know that, what is it, the 30th, there's no way that yours are going to get here by the 1st. But if you show me the receipt, then I can still get you in the group. And we can get started, and we're going to really make 2022 our year and get it done. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I do have my Friday review, and I'm looking forward to that one. And then we'll get started just really fast and have a lot of fun on the next Monday.